Oh, welcome in, everybody. How are we all doing? We are back with our Gran Turismo Racing Community, and it is round 2 of our GR2 Championship Series here. So we are at Deep Forest Raceway today. On the screen in front of you is a little bit of a loop of the track that we're going to be racing on. And we had a little issues going live here today, so I do not believe we're actually live on the GTRC channel for some reason. Again, my software is having some issues with YouTube today, apparently. We'll see if it calms itself down a little bit here, but we'll upload that video to the GTRC YouTube channel after the stream is over, I guess. So live here on the GT45 gaming channels right now currently, and we're just getting ready here. We're about 6 minutes away from qualifying, so we're just going to go through some quick information here for everybody. And I am going to tell you, we have a absolutely stacked full lobby here again tonight. So the community loving these Group 2 class racing cars, and I'll tell you, if this race is anything like round 1, oh boy, go refresh those beverages and get those snack bowls filled up, because you're not going to want to miss a second of round number 2. So let's talk a little bit here about our track here. Of course, Deep Forest Raceway, and this is a fictional racetrack here on Gran Turismo. And I'm just going to bring up my cheat sheet, so bear with me here for uno momento. And again, I'm having some issues with the stream here today, so things are a little slow moving on transitioning around my computer here today. But we'll have this up in just uno momento, and we'll talk about the remainder of our information here on the track. You guys can see it. I can't see it on my screen. It's too small, so I have to bring up cheat sheets in order to read the information. But just waiting for that to load. Again, computer is having a rough time here today. So it's a 2.64 mile racetrack, 4.25 kilometers, has 18 left and right hand turns. It's a tarmac road surface. It's an original circuit, meaning it is a fictional circuit designed and developed by Polyphony Digital and Gran Turismo 7, and has an elevation change of 164 feet from highest point to lowest point. And the information that we gain for these racetracks is accredited to a very extensive research from Miss Devious and our Special Operations Administrator, Miss Devious, of course, providing all that information on these beautiful track maps. And we'll try to get back to that a little bit more later in the broadcast, but we've got a lot of information to go through here before we get started. So we had a round, which means we have some standings. So let's talk about said standings, and I'm not sure why. There we go. They did that. All right, so after round 1 of racing, it is 10-10 Subi Mark in the lead with 21 points. It's going to be second place 10-10 Pigums with 17 points. In third place is Mike 1972 with 15 points. From there, it's fourth place. It's Team Rad Petrolhead. A little mistake on the graphic there with 13 points. We got Team Rad's Doug Barrow with 11 points. We've got Team Rad's Hair Razor with 10 points. We've got 10-10 Sim Racing's Bar 27 with 9. We've got THG's Tro and Colby with 8 points. We've got Dialful Racing with 7. We got Supra with 6 points. We've got SPG's Type R with 5 points. We got Happy Pappy there with 4 points. We've got Ken Neely 420 with 3 points. We've got Iron Knight with 2 points, and 1010 Sim Racing's Egon with 1 point. So that is after 1 round of racing here today, or 1 round of racing this season, ladies and gentlemen. Got Aaron Steffen coming in with the thumbs up on the stream. Ruben as well. Appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's doing good. Who's on the grid? I wonder who I'll be cheering for. All right, so we're about 3 minutes away from race start here, so we're just going to bring our track loop back up, and we're going to talk a little bit about the series. So it is an open Group 2 series. The cars that are not allowed to be on track are the Mercedes CLK and the McLaren F1 Group 2 cars, due to the just different in driving style compared to the majority of the class. So that leaves the Honda NSX, that leaves the GTR, that leaves the Lexus and the Audi, and I believe there's an old Nissan GTR as well. So there's basically 5 cars that the drivers are choosing from. Now this is a mixed bag of cars. We got Lexus, we got the NSX, we've got the GTR, and we've got Audis on track here for our racing. However, only one driver braving the Audi this season. It's a little bit of a difficult car to drive because it has a DRS button that you have to use with this car, and that's what allows it to be competitive within the Group 2 class. If it wasn't for the DRS button, it would be no better than potentially even a Group 4 car, maybe. But that DRS button is what allows it to compete with the remaining cars in the class. So people hear DRS and I automatically think, well, that's the OP car. That driver's got an advantage. That isn't necessarily going to be the case on probably a large part of these racetracks. Now, anything with a large straightaway or big, long runs is where the Audi is really going to be strong, because that's where that DRS really gives that car a bit of an advantage over the class, I guess, in a sense. But the rest of the cars have the advantage through any technical parts of the racetrack over that Audi. So it balances itself out in a sense. So this is a track potentially that the Audi could do well at, due to two fairly lengthy straightaway runs on the racetrack, and then just a really technical middle sector of this racetrack. So expect maybe to see the Audi do fairly well here today. But we have a 5-minute qualifying run, so we'll see about 2 hot laps from these drivers for qualifying, and we do qualifying slightly different than we normally do in most leagues that we see here, broadcast, of course, by myself, GT45 Gaming. We don't use the qualifying settings here in game. We just tell the drivers how many hot laps they're allowed to get, and then the drivers park at the end of turn 1, and once everybody's ran those 2 hot laps, we start the race. So the drivers have been running free practice here for the last couple hours this morning, and, well, it's going to be a good race. It's going to be a good race. Let's go, Trone. Hey, THG in the house. You know it, brother. Let's go, Trone. Let's go. Well, yeah, it's nice to see new faces in the series. It's nice to see a nice stacked full grid week in and week out too as well. Obviously, the Group 2 cars have been very well received by the community, so it looks like we're getting ready to go qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to see lobby reset here shortly. No. And once we get that lobby reset, of course, race control officials will tell the drivers when they're allowed to go out on track. So this is the point in the race where they're doing a quick track inspection, making sure the barriers are all intact, making sure there's no debris on the racetrack, and they do a quick little sweep and blow at the track for the drivers. And when race control is happy the track is under 110% safe operating condition, we will release the drivers. So we should be seeing a lobby reset here shortly, so just bear with, chat. Once that lobby reset happens, we'll move it over to the big screen, and we'll get on track and watch the action. I almost jumped in free practice to see how I stacked up. This is a spicy field of drivers this season for sure. All right, we are officially under qualifying condition. Check, make sure everything is working. It looks like everything is actually working, minus one YouTube channel, not doing well. No, it didn't go up. It didn't go up, Bar. I'll have to upload. Don't know why. Honestly, don't know why. It just wouldn't connect the video for some reason, so we'll just upload it. No big deal. And I had that issue with Race Asylum too. A couple of weeks of racing, it just didn't want to connect to the YouTube channel. So there could be something going on that I'm unaware of, maybe with the platform. But I'll dig in deeper. But yeah, no, it didn't go live on GTRC today. It's hard to say, you never know with these Group 2 cars. Again, high downforce cars are quite a bit different than our Group 3 class racing cars, so it really is hard to say. So it looks like Piggins is our first driver out on track, even though they got him pegged as 15 right now on the racetrack here. But with that being said, let's get rid of the name of the driver on the car, because that really bothers me, and get the timing information up so we can start qualifying. All right. So hot lap here around Deep Forest Raceway with Piggins coming into turn number 1 here, and you want to keep it tight and you want to keep it right so you can get a good exit, and that's Geneva. From there we head into the Eiger S's, and this is just a sweeping S sector, and then that takes us into the Bordstein curves, pardon me, and that takes us into the first tunnel here. From there, that takes us around this hairpin corner that we call CERN. It's a sweeping hairpin corner. It takes us into the Einstein Tunnel. Now we're into Arrow, and it's just a set of sweeping corners here again. That takes us down the hill through Zurich, in over the tunnel, into Toblerone, one of the tighter corners here on the racetrack, leading to a very big straight. You can see a huge wiggle on the exit there from Piggums as he tries to get the power down as early as possible here. From there, now we're into the Matterhorn Tunnel, moving into our secondary tunnel here on this back straight, the Monte Rosa Tunnel, and then that takes us into St. Bernard's Corner, and this is a massive, I would say 175, 180 degree corner. It's the hardest braking zone on the racetrack, and again, leading into a long run to the start-finish line. That takes us down into the Autobahn, into Heidi's Curve, and up through Meadows, and of course this last but not least lone tree here, as there's just one lone tree standing up the side of the track there. So the first time here from Piggums is going to be a 121. Doug cannot take it. Trone moves up into second place. We got Bar 27 here. He does not jump up. Doug moves up into fourth place. Iron Knight there in seventh place. Somebody jumped up. Hair Razor into third place there. Soupy Mark taking pole position away. Super coming here. He's ninth on the track. Going to move him up into sixth position. We got Petrolhead coming through, defending champion here from the last series, in 10th place. Did not get a good lap there. Iron Knight, Egon moving up into 9th. We got Happy Pappy moving up into 12th. They all got knocked down a spot there, as I believe, I don't even know who it was that went through there. Somebody grabbed a spot up in the top half of the field there. We got Mike 1972 coming through, and it's good enough for 5th place. And we got Ken Neely, last but not least here, out on track to start his hot lap. So let's see what he's got here as he comes around, and it looks like about a 23. Yeah. So good enough for 13th position here on the racetrack. So it's Soupy Mark here in pole position as Piggums 6/10 of a second in behind. Trone Colby is less than a tenth of a second in behind Piggums here right now. And then it's Hair Razor there in 4th place. We're going to sit here with Piggums as he continues to come around the racetrack here. And it is go time. So TT Piggums here as he's coming around. This is going to be his final crack at it here as well. So we're going to go right to Trone as soon as Piggums comes across the line. We're going to try and catch as many of the drivers as we can because they were all so close together here. And he is not going to take that pole position away. Doug Burrow jumps up into 3rd place. Trone cannot grab any more position there as he comes through. Hair Razor's coming through here. He's in 5th right now. He does not grab any more position either. Bar 27 coming in and stealing pole position away from Subi Mark. Look at that lap coming from Bar 27 here. And right now 10-10's on the podium here in qualifying. Top 3 coming from that team. Mike coming through, and he is a driver who can challenge this pole position as he comes around the last couple corners here. Lone tree and start the finish line here. Just a little bit of a run, about 400 or 500 meters to the start finish line. It was a great lap there, but it's only good enough for 7th place. All right, we got Egon here in 10th. We got Type R. We got Iron Knight. Looks so. We got Petrol running. Nope. We got Ken Neely. He's on a lap here. Not an improvement of the lap there that time. And we got the driver coming in doing tire change. So we'll let him come out of pit lane, and then we'll get our Hacks. Hacks, he goes. And we'll see exactly where everybody stands here in qualifying. So it is 10-10's Bar 27 with pole position here today. And that was a great lap from Bar 27. Right now it has Hair Razor in pole, but we'll wait for all the drivers to get back out from pit lane. So we have about a 2-minute break here, and that again is just to allow the drivers, if they choose to change their tires before they go racing, then they got to come back out in pit lane. That resets their position on the grid, obviously. And you can see a lot of drivers have come in to choose their tires for the beginning of the race. So the tire requirements here in the series are the racing hard and racing medium tires throughout the race. Both tires do need to be used. If rain comes into factor here on the racetrack, of course that meter needs to hit 33% moisture, and I believe it needs to remain for a large portion of the race before it negates the hard and medium tire mandate. So the drivers do need to have those intermediate wet and those wet racing tires available in their pit boxes just in case. However, Deep Forest is an American track, and we do not have the rain weather model currently in the game for the American tracks, so we won't see rain, but we could see hazy conditions, we could see fog, we could see very cool conditions, or we could see very hot conditions. So the weather is the weather, and the conditions do matter for these cars. It matters on tire wear, it matters on fuel consumption, and it does wind also plays a factor affecting turn-ins in certain corners as well. So the drivers are constantly having to make in-race adjustments as they're driving around the track, as of course dynamic weather plays a factor here in the races this season. Good luck, everyone, says Antoine. We got Tron Kobe saying good luck. We got good luck, says Tron as well. We got the fans in the house. We love to see it. That's what we love to see. Alright, welcome in, everybody. I'm just doing one last check on the streams before we get to racing. So, appreciate everybody hanging out with us here today. Again, this is presented by the Gran Turismo Racing Community, the GTRC. This is our Group 2 Championship Round 2 at Deep Forest Raceway. And our season opener was one of my favorite races I've ever broadcast with this community. I've been broadcasting with this community for about 3 years now. And that race at Red Bull Ring 2 weeks ago has made my top 3 in absolute best races ever in my time with this community. So if that's of any indication of how exciting this should be here in round 2, we're in for it. We're going to be in for some tight racing. This field is very closely paced together, and the strategies were very similar last round of this racing as well. So it is going to be quite interesting. Now, do the drivers make it through the first sector in one piece at race start is always the biggest question here. It's always a big concern from the drivers and, of course, our race control officials. We never want to see a big mess to clean up after turn 1. We had a spectacular race start in round number 1. I expect nothing different from our drivers in round number 2. Different racetrack, same scenario. The midsection is really what plays a factor here on this racetrack. It's a much more tight together technical sweeping set of corners, and definitely will make for some difficult navigation on cold racing tires at the start of the race with some pretty insanely powerful race cars. I mean, what else could we say? These cars move. They got a lot of front aero grip in them, so they can really hum around the corners at a good rate of speed, and they just have a crazy acceleration rate. So should be an interesting race today. We do have a difference in fuel, so some cars are better on fuel than others, and some cars are going to have to save a little bit of fuel in order to keep in that pit strategy from some of the other drivers in the cars. I have received a little bit of information about some of that here from some of the drivers throughout the week as well. So the Lexus is definitely the most fuel efficient car for this week. The NSX not so much, and look at that sun glare off those cars. That sun is beating down on our drivers right now, so we are lined up, we are ready. Race control is happy. Are we ready to go, viewers? Are we ready to go, fans? I hope so, because she's going to be a doozy tonight. We got 5 reds. We're counting down. Kick them tires. Light them fires. We're going Group 2 racing, chat. We're waiting for that green flag. We're green, 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 and we are racing. We're official. We're underway. And immediately, right off the start, we have a driver in trouble into the wall. And the damage is on light in the series, so you can recover from that, but that is a tough way. We got one driver going in deep. Might have been a slight contact there. And here we go. We're going to try and stay with the pack here as much as we can. We're going to stay right in the middle of things here right now because this is a big group of cars here. We've got a GTR in trouble there very early on. I believe that was Ken Neely 420 we've seen in the background there. In trouble on the start line. Just got some wheel spin there, and that car just got absolutely spun around on him. So he is going to be a little bit behind the pack here to start this race, but long race, 1 hour endurance here, plenty of time to make that time up. And it looks like for the most part we've survived the race start here. So Subimark in the lead, Pigham's in second, Barr in third, we got Doug in 4th place, we got Hairraiser in 5th, we got Trone in 6th, Supra in 7th place, we got Mike 1972 in 8th, we got Diaful Racing in 9th, we got Petrol in 10th position, we've got Egon in 11th place, we've got Iron Knight here in 12th, we've got Type R in 13th, we've got Pappy here in 14th position, and we got Ken Neely. He's about 6 seconds off the pack, but he can see him there. So the damage is gone. His car is back up to full operating condition. It's just a matter of time before he sees the pack here again. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is on like Donkey Kong. Soupy Mark, he was last week's race winner, and he's off to a very early lead here, 1.2 seconds over teammate Pigham's. He has 0.3 of a second over our pole sitter, Bar 27. We got Bar, Doug Barrow right there in 4th place. He's half a second in behind Bar 27 teammate Hairraiser, tucked right in behind him here in 5th place. We got Trone Kobe here in 6th place, recently promoted to the pro class here in the GTRC as well, so congratulations to Trone. We've got Supra up into 7th place here. He's losing a little bit of touch, and we did say that this Audi is going to be a little bit weaker through this part of the racetrack. This is where these cars have an advantage over the Audi. but once he gets to these straights, if he can get a good exit outside of the corner, you can see he's really struggling right now, trying to get the power down through the technical sector. But once he gets his car into a big open straight, we'll see how quickly that DRS in this Audi really allows him to pull away, and already it's at 0.2 of a second gap there on Mike 1972 and growing. So the DRS, this is where it gives this car an advantage. He may very well even be able to catch a slipstream up to Tron Kobe ahead of him here by the end of this straightaway, and he's almost there now. You can see how quickly that Audi closes in on the straightaway. So this is where Supra is really going to be relying on this car to make up those gaps here over the rest of these cars, and he's going to have to really defend going through the technical sector of the racetrack here. All right, back up front, we have Subi Mark in first. We got Piggums and Bar 27 here in second and third place. And we got a beautiful pack of cars in behind these two here. So we're just going to stick with this for a moment, see if these two are battling for position or if they're just playing nice right now. Piggums has a slight advantage over Bar by about 2.5 of a second. So a car length essentially separating these two a little less. And Bar has got a great run here on Piggums as we get through the S's, and you can see a little bit of dirty air factory in there as these guys are tucked in nice and tight together, so the drivers having to change their lines just a little bit there to get their cars to react the way they like. You don't want to make the big mistake, and as we say, you see Bar 27 gets a little bit wide going through that secondary corner there, and that allows Doug and Hairraiser and Trone to close in on him here. So we got a six-way battle for second place basically brewing right now very early on in this race. We're going to try and stick with this here, and Bar gets that great run there on Piggums, and are we going to see a change of position here from second and third place as Bar got a good exit out of there, but it looks like that Lexus just got a little more top end than that NSX, and Bar is going to have to find a way to get ahead of that NSX, I think, in the technical sector. So here we go, looking up the inside, going for the move here for second place is Bar 27, and job done. Nice, clean, efficient pass there. Bar's going to move it up into second place. Piggums falls down into third. Doug Barrow and Hairraiser right there watching all the action happen, going, okay, our turn next, right? So now as they try to close in on this fight, they want a piece of the action. They want a piece of that podium, and it is just a nice little line of cars going on right here. Hairraiser in fifth and Trone in sixth place, just sitting here in behind, watching all the action happen. We got Doug going up the inside of Piggums here. Now this is a battle for third position into turn one. He gets the job done coming out of Geneva now, moves up into third place. Piggums drops down into P4 here, and Hairraiser now nipping at his heels here. So Piggums is starting to drop his way down this pack a little bit here, and we're going to see a lot of moves made into Geneva in turn one there, and we're going to see a lot of passes made in St. Bernard's Corner at the end of these straightaways. Obviously slipstream is going to play a big factor in the race on this racetrack here in these cars today, and we're going to see a lot of moves made on those two longer runs here on the racetrack. We're not going to see a whole lot of positional changes, I think, in this sector unless a driver makes a big enough mistake. I think it's going to be a patience game, and drivers are going to try and use the slipstream to their advantage to try and get the positions gained on the driver in front. That will play a factor at the end of the game. We're going to start seeing a lot more defensive driver coming from the drivers that are in front defending, but right now it's early enough in the race. Drivers aren't panicking too much right now as we come in, and Hairraiser wasn't quite close enough there to make the move. He took a look there and just settles it back in line. Trone there, and now we got Mike 1972 here. He's found his way into this fight here as well, so this has now become basically a six-way battle here for the podium at the moment, and you can see that second pack starting to close in here, and it's led by Supra again, that Audi in charge here. He's on that long run now, and you can see there he's semi-defensive. He's not sure what he wants to do coming into turn one, as he's got Dialful Racing and Petrol coming in. Petrol's going to take a look up the inside of Dialful Racing right there in behind in ninth place. Side-by-side action. Dialful with a great hold on the outside to defend the position, and Petrol still sitting in the wings here in the 10th place. So not ideal for him here right now, where as he definitely wants to be further up in the pack. He is trying to find his way around that Honda NSX of Dialful Racing right now, but Dialful had a great hold there on the outside, and back to side-by-side action here between Petrol and Dialful, and Petrol really working hard on trying to find a way around here, and Dialful doing a great job at defending the position here while also still trying to attack the Audi up in front. And now we've got Type R coming into the background here as well into this fight, and it is battle on here. We got battles happening all over the racetrack right now. Let's get into it, chat. All right, so Petrol side by side here. He was fighting for position with Dialful Racing up there in 9th place. Now finds himself fighting with Type R for position here to hold 10th place. Great run there on the back end of that NSX. And this is a spicy little fight we got going on here up in the front. So here we go. We got some pit stops happening here very, very early on. So our race leaders all coming into pit lane. So Mike is going to stay out. We got Hair Razor staying out. We got Troen also staying out. Type R has stayed out. Mark has come in. Bar has come in. Doug has come in. Pigums has come in. Super's come in. Diaful is coming in. Petrol has come in. Egon, Ken Neely, and Pappy, are they all going to come in too? No, they've all gone around. They're going to grab some position while they're there to grab. And, oof, all right, strategies in play. Iron Knight now in pit lane here as well. Another Dialful Racing team member here. And, ooh, big spicy moment right there. In second place, there's Troen is now going to take advantage of that mistake by Hair Razor. And now he finds himself sitting in second place only 0.6 of a second in behind the race leader here. So Troen Kobe has come to play today. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. Hair Razor here in third place and moving. All right, Type R in fourth. So here we go. First of our pit stop drivers was our race leader, Subi Mark, now in 5th place. Of course, all 4 drivers at some point will have to make a pit stop, but right now, they're leading the race. Bar 27 in behind him here in 6th. We got Doug Burrow chasing in 7th. We got Pigums right there in behind in 8th place. We got Petrolhead here in 9th. Egon in 10th. So Petrol jumped a little bit there in pit lane, grabbed a position or 2. Ken Neely here in 11th position. We've got Supra now down into 12th, but there we go. There's that DRS power. Ooh, and a little lag right there in the lobby, and hopefully that didn't affect the drivers too much there, but that definitely cost Ken Neely a little bit of position on the racetrack right there, and that's unfortunate. There's just nothing we can do about that. That's just the way the game is. So he's still out there and he's still battling, and now Dialful Racing trying to take advantage of that little bit of a lag spike there too. And unfortunately for Ken Neely, that cost him about a second on the racetrack there, and it's a lingering issue within the platform, and it's just nothing we can do to avoid it, unfortunately. Got Happy Pappy here in 14th position. We haven't seen Happy Pappy too much here yet today, so let's hang out with Pappy here for a moment. Hang out with our boy here. A great looking livery here, that white and red livery on the skyline. Godzilla on the side of it. Love it. Alright, so let's keep flowing here. I'm not sure why it took us to 4th place. We still have all our drivers on track, so that's fantastic. That's what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. 15 start, 15 finish. So it's Mike, 1972 in the race lead, and Troen is applying some pressure. He is tucked right in. And, ooh, I thought he was going to maybe take a look there coming down into St. Bernard's Corner here, but he decides to just sit in behind and stay in behind Mike 1972 there. So interesting choice there by Troen, but nonetheless, he is tucked right in behind the race lead here. We're going to stick with that here just for a moment. We got Type R here in 4th, so Hair Razor has made a pit stop now, and he's actually come back out just ahead of Petrolhead here in 8th place. So let's stick with this front 2 here. This is, of course, 1st and 2nd place. It's Mike 1972 and THG's Troen Kobe here on track. And nose to tail right now in these Group 2 cars. Now, these drivers do owe a pit stop still, so they do have a bit of a gap on the remainder of the field here right now. And that is kind of the idea. They're trying to work on building that gap. They might be on a 1-stop strategy, say, against maybe 2-stop strategies. That's kind of what it looks like is happening here in our race today. And it is nose to tail driving right now by Troen and Mike 1972. And I tell you, there's a big stigmatism in the community, within the racing community on Gran Turismo 7, that you cannot do high downforce cars because you cannot race close together properly. Point in case, ladies and gentlemen. These 2 drivers have been nose to tail for a couple of laps now and not having an issue at all. And Troen, I don't think Troen is really looking to pass. Oh, there he is. I wasn't sure what he was doing there. It looked like he was going to stay comfortable there. So who's going to go later into the braking zone at this point? It is side by side coming through the corner here. And a little bit of contact there between the 2 drivers. And Mike gets pushed a little bit wide on the corner there. You can see he just laid off the throttle there. Obviously, keeping the car safe is priority number 1. And lives to fight another day. So Troen Kobe does get the position there. And Mike 1972 finds himself in 2nd place here. Now, that's just on what our point of view looks like, ladies and gentlemen. That could have been a completely perfectly clean move between the 2 drivers. It just looks different from our point of view compared to both of these guys' point of view. It's just the way the game works. So we're only commentating on what we see as our point of view. That doesn't necessarily mean what we're seeing on the track is necessarily what's happening on the track. Clearly, we've already seen some lagging in the lobby with that spike. So net coding is a little bit of a factor here, and it does complicate stewarding officiating as well at the end of these races as well. But we didn't have any incident reports come in for round number 1, so there was really nothing to talk about there. The drivers had an absolutely spectacular race, and much of the same thing here it looks like so far today as well. So Subi Mark here in 3rd place. He's got Type R there in 4th. So Subi Mark is actually past Type R here, and we talk about how hard Type R is to pass. He's a pretty good defensive driver. It's one of his specialties, in my opinion, and you can see it right here. I mean, he's predicting exactly where Barr wanted to go there, and Barr took advantage of that, though I think that was a little bit of a setup play there by Barr. But I mean, Type R still has this inside track here. Right now, he needs Doug to give him a little push, but he just doesn't quite get it done. And Type R actually backs out there a little bit, and he gives the position up to Bar 27 and Doug Barrow, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I figured he was going to defend that position there, and he actually lets those guys get through. So they continue on down the road. Now as Pigham's working around here, he gets up the inside here, so he's got position. He should be able to navigate around the shorter way around the corner, and he's going to slot up in front of Type R there in 6th place. So Type R giving up a couple of positions there, and that surprises me a little bit, but you know, that's just racers being racers out there. This community races together all the time. They have a lot of respect for each other, and I think that's just racer respect right there. I really do. So it's Petrol here in 9th. We got Supra here in 10th position. We got Dialful Racing in 11th. We've got Ken Neely up at the 12th. Now, this is a driver that had the issue at the start line, got into the wall, and now he's up in the 12th place. So we got Happy Pappy here in 13th. We got Egon in 14th position. We got Iron Knight here in 15th place. So strategies are in play. Some drivers have already made an early pit stop, gotten off those racing hard tires and put on those racing medium tires, and some drivers are still out on whatever strategy it is that they're playing out here. So Drone Kobe is now leading the race here, and he's starting to open a gap on Mike 1972. So 1.5 seconds right now as we come around St. Bernard's corner, and Mike 1972, I mean, he's just chilling there right now. But he's also on a different tire compound, so he's done a really great job at keeping pace with Drone Kobe at the same time. So we got Subi Mark here in 3rd position now, and the gap to the leader is 6 seconds. He's got 4.6 seconds to Mike 1972 in behind. We got Bar 27 here. He's in 4th place right now, and he's 2.5 seconds in behind Mike, or in behind Subi, pardon me. Doug Barrow in 5th place here. He is 1.3 seconds in behind Bar 27, and Piggums is tracking here. He goes to close up the distance under braking a little bit, takes that nice tight line around Geneva there, and still about 3/4 of a second between the two of them here right now. And those two drivers are not unfamiliar with each other. We got Type R currently sitting in 7th place with Hair Razor in 8th. He's closing in. 1.1 seconds is that gap there as we get in through this middle sector. And we're going to stick with this here as Hair Razor seems to be closing in pretty quickly. He's actually on a blue sector, which means he's on a personal best lap currently right now on the racetrack so far in this race as well. And our fastest lapper on the track so far here today is Subi Mark with a 121.133 here on the racetrack. So good lap there by him so far. Alright, so Hair Razor has closed in. He's just locked into the slipstream here. Are we going to see some slingshot engaged here on Type R as we head into St. Bernard's corner here for the 11th time today? And you can see the gaps closing, and he's not quite there. He's going to have to go late on the brakes, and he realizes, I'm just not quite close enough to make this work. So you can see he's just going to have to slot in behind Type R here, and good racing call there by Hair Razor as he is aware that it's just not quite there yet to make that happen, and back right back out. But we got a nice little spicy battle happening here between Supra, Petrol, and Dialful Racing, I believe it is there as well, just in behind us watching this go down. So Supra now looking up the inside here on Petrol Head and trying to get the move done coming into turn 1. Now we've seen a good hold on the outside here once already today, and he squeezes Supra nice and tight to that apex to try and maximize that outside line. And we're still side by side, so we're going racing through the S's here, and the Eiger S is side by side. This is not an easy task. We see a little bit of door rubbing happening there, but the drivers are managing this pretty good. He goes wide to get the cutback coming back from Supra, and is side by side heading into the tunnel here. And this is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Petrol Supra locked into a battle for 9th and 10th position here through the Eiger S. Is not easy to do. Well done, gentlemen. A little bit of rubbing racing happening there, but no harm, no foul. We're all still on the track in forward direction. Whew, there's been some action today, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, how you doing, Brad? Ooh, let us go. All right, so Petrolhead does get the job done. Spicy little battle right there with Super. Super tried to get the position, but he just couldn't get it done. Petrol with a great defense, and went to go defend there and realized that I think Super wasn't going to attempt to make a move there, and pulled back into the racing line there, and that's a little bit on the gray area of defensive driving there, but no harm, no foul there in this particular situation. So we got Tron Kobe here in first place, and he's got no choice. He has to send this race car right now. He's in the lead. He's got 3 seconds. The difference is, though, when he comes out on his pit stop, a little bit of a wiggle, he gathers that car up. What a save right there by Tron Kobe. Oh my goodness, his heart is racing right now. That is what we like to call a code brown in sim racing, but great job to gather himself up. And I gotta tell you what, he has really put in some work in the off season. This driver is looking really good here in the GTRC. That little mistake cost him about 0.4 of a second, but at the end of the day, he kept the car out of the wall and kept it moving in the right direction. He still got the race lead, so that was a great recovery right there by Tron. We got Mike 1972 here in second place, and happy to see that little wiggle, I'm sure, as he's trying to just keep that distance there. He's probably aware that there's a tire difference between the two of them here right now. So Soupy Mark has closed up that 4.6 second gap here while we're watching that great battle in the back half of the racing pack here, and he has definitely closed the gap up here. So he's got less than a second. He's in the slipstream here now as we head towards Geneva for the 14th time here, and he is definitely in the tail end of the slipstream. I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough to make a move here into turn number 1, but he's definitely closing up the gap here. And let's see, let's just stick with this fight here for a moment as he comes around turn number 1, and you can see the gap closing here. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second, about a car and a half between the two guys here right now on the track, and they are moving and grooving here. There we go. Subi is now tucked right underneath the rear wing here of Mike 1972 and applying some pressure here. Mike 1972, this guy can drive, so this is not going to be an easy battle for position here for Subi Mark. And you can see he's just trying to get that front end of the car into some clean racing air. Oh, and there we go. Big move into the corner there. A little bit of a slingshot engage move there coming around into Tolbarone and gets the job done. But now he's in the defensive position. Mike gets a great run coming out of Tolbarone as well, and we are side by side heading down into the Monte Rosa tunnel and down into St. Bernard's Corner. It's actually going to be Mike 1972 back into second place as he pulls in to make the corner, and Subi Mark going to try and get the run here, see if he can get the job done coming into turn number 1. He got a great run there. He actually had to pull out of the line so he didn't bump Mike 1972 and help him out there, and that's exactly what you can see here. You can see Mark is trying to time this just right here to get this move done. And are we going to see the battle into turn 1? Yes, we do. He pulls up to the inside, and side-by-side racing action goes in really deep under the brakes there. And Mike 1972 has a cutback opportunity here. Can he get the power down? He cannot, and that was a great battle right there for second and third position. Subi Mark is going to get the position done, and now he's got Tron Kobe targeted here for first place, as Mike is now here in third position, trying to keep pace with Subi Mark. That was a great battle. Remember, Mike is on hard racing tires here, ladies and gentlemen. That was a great battle. Bar 27 here in fourth place. The gap is 2.3 seconds between him and Mike. We got Pigham's 2.8 seconds in behind bar 27. The gap is much of the same between the two teammates. Ooh, we got Doug Barrow getting it wrong. Oh my, and that is not good news for Doug Barrow there. You can see he's losing positions, and he's going to get that thing turned around in 7th position here, and you hate to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my replays are not working. Oh, ain't that a heartbreaker, ladies and gentlemen. We got no replays today. Lucky for Doug, I guess. We got Iron Knight here in 12th place. We've got Happy Pappy here in 13th. We've got Egon in 14th. And we got Ken Neely here in 15th. Oh, and he's had a little bit of trouble here as well. And just some damage starting to disappear on that racing car. So a little incident about 30 seconds back the road there. And a couple of drivers having some mid-race issues here. We're 20 minutes into this 1-hour endurance race as well. We're not even halfway. We're not even halfway, chat. No, we've seen crazy battles on this racetrack. This is fantastic, this Group 2 series. I'm really enjoying this. This is very, very well done by our racing drivers here. Mike 1972 in third place. Not a lot happening here right at the moment. We're keeping our eye on that chase down for second to first place. But I mean, you know, the pack is starting to close back up here again. We got Bar 27. He's close to second in on Mike 1972 here in this last lap around, and you can see him up there now. And that is just motivation for a race car driver. Oh, hey, that's third place right there. Wow, let's see if we can catch this guy. So, Bar 27 now working on catching Mike 1972, but we've seen it a few times already. It's one thing to catch these guys, a whole other thing to still make your way around them. So we're about to see a battle here, so we're going to stick with this. Again, we have a tire difference between the two race cars here, so that's why I know we're going to see a battle here at some point. And you can see how quickly Bar closed up there. He actually had to bail a little bit under braking there, so he didn't get into the back of Mike 1972. And again, that's just the overspeed from the slipstream. So the guys are coming into the corner a few miles an hour faster than anticipated, and that does change your braking. So they need to just brake a smidge sooner there in that case, but Bar 27 doing a great job managing it. And we should see Slingshot engaged here coming into Geneva on lap 17. And oh, there we go. Bar 27 gets the fastest lap on the track that time around too. So a 1:20.468. A little slipstream help there from Mike 1972 at the end of that lap. And now Bar 27 holding an important bonus point in his hand here currently on the racetrack as well. But he does get the job done, and now he finds himself sitting in third place. Mike 1972 here in fourth. We got Piggums here in fifth position, 3 seconds in behind. We got Hair Razor right here in sixth place. We got Petrolhead now starting to make his way through the field here a little bit. He's up into seventh place here. Super still chasing in eighth. We've got Dialful Racing not far behind in ninth place. Type R right there. Doug trying to make that time back up there after that spin coming out of the first tunnel. It's a second tunnel here. Unfortunately, you hate to see it. And, ooh, another big slide there as he comes around into Cern, out of Cern here. And as we head down in towards Tolbert out of Zurich, I mean, he still gained time on Type R there, even with that slide. But Doug definitely pushing right now. And sometimes when you push those race cars, you overdrive them. So he's got to be careful on how much on the limit he is right now with this car trying to gain track position. And he's going to try and get the job done on Type R here before we get into the braking zone, into the tunnel. And you can see Type R, he's on the defensive line here. Who's going to go in later on the brakes? It looks like Doug's going to go in later on the brakes there. He's going to get the job done. He's going to move up into 10th place, and now he's got 1.6 seconds to Dialful Racing up ahead of him there. Type R moves down into 11th position here on the racetrack. Got Iron Knight, he's a little bit behind here, so a couple of the drivers on different pit strategies, just a little bit of a time difference there. He's taking a nice wide entry to get a good straight line exit there. Got Happy Pappy closing in here in 13th position, right in behind him there as well. We've got Egon here in 14th, just coming around St. Bernard's Bend there, and Ken Neely just in behind here in 15th position as well. And I believe this is his first lead potentially, but definitely his first season with the GTRC here, so love to see it. All right, we're moving, we're grooving, and here we go. The battle for the lead is on here. So Trone has not made a pit stop yet either, keeping in mind, right? So, I mean, it's hard to say if this is going to pay benefit to him or not, as the drivers that have made a pit stop have now kind of reeled him in here. But, I mean, he's still got plenty of fuel, and he's got lots of tire left on this racing car here. So it's going to be interesting to see. But Mark is trying to get the job done on the outside here, coming into St. Bernard's Bend, and this is going to be for the lead, and it is going to get the job done. So Soupy Mark now taking over the race lead here just as we are finishing up lap number 18 back from Trone Kobe, and our third lead change of the race here, but only our second race leader. And Trone Kobe's like, nope, I want that back, sir. So here we go, a little bit of defensive driving here. Mark picks his line, Trone picks his line, and he's going to look for a good run here. Nice tight exit there by Trone. He's going to get down on the power early, and there we go. He's only 0.4 of a second in behind Subi Mark here. So Trone has looked very solid here today on the racetrack, and currently sitting in second place, and he is not letting Subi Mark get away. He's like, buddy, we ain't done with this fight yet. We got Bar 27 closing in here. He's in third place, and he was our fastest in qualifying. Right now, currently our fastest on the racetrack here as well. So he is tracking 1.5 seconds in behind these two guys, and he's looking good here today. We got Mike 1972 here. He's in fourth place. He's only 2.5 seconds in behind Bar 27 here as well. And Piggums is tracking in fifth place here as well. Less than a second in behind Mike 1972 now. So Piggums here potentially looking to get a position maybe at the end of this long straight here. Let's see what happens. I don't think he's quite close enough to get anything done here, but A little bit of work under braking to try and close up a little bit more of that gap, and hopefully he can get a good run of the St. Bernard's curve here and get that long slipstream run up to the start-finish line. But a great exit there from Mike 1972 as well, and Trone finally coming in for his pit stop here. So he may be on a two-stop strategy here as well. It could be a very alternative strategy. We might see a short hard stint, see him pop right back into pit lane. It's hard to say, so we'll have to wait and see what Trone decides to do here now with his pit strategy. But Trone Kobe now coming in for his first pit stop of the race as well. And Pigham's here closing up the gap on Mike 1972, but Mike 1972 is not giving it away easily here. And Pigham's now in the midsection here, just again trying to close the space up. A big wiggle there coming in out of the Eiger S's, and as we head into Cern for the 20th time here, Pigham's is right there now. He's tucked right in underneath, and we may see a move maybe coming into Toblerone here as we come down Zurich towards the bridge. And you can see, oh, did we just have a disconnect? I think we just had a disconnect. Oh my. 10-10's Pigham's disconnecting from the race on lap number 20. Right in the middle of a battle with Mike 1972. And oh, that is devastating for TT Pigham's there, as it's going to be a last place finish here for him now today. Oh my. That happened right in front of us, Chad. That was crazy. So we got Bar 27 up in second place. We got Mike 1972 here in third place, and was under extreme pressure from Pigham's, and now finds himself with a nice tidy gap to Hair Razor here in fourth place. So heartbroken right there. Hate to see it. Hate to see it, chat. So it's Petrolhead here in fifth place. We got Trone in sixth. We got Dialflow Racing in seventh. We got Doug battling right now with Supra here, and this is a battle for 8th and 9th position between the two drivers here. So let's stick with this fight here. And right now it is Supra with the advantage, but are we going to see Doug take a look up into Geneva? We are going to see Doug go up the inside here, but we have seen the hold on the outside of turn number 1 here. We've seen Dialflow Racing have a hold there, as a matter of fact, just a few laps ago, but Doug is going to get the position from Supra here, and Supra moves down into 9th. Doug moves up into 8th place, so Doug's still trying to recover from that mid-race spin there, and back up into the mid part of the field here. Of course, a free position, obviously, with the unexpected exit of Pigham's. And that's heartbreaking. That's just heartbreaking right there. We got Supra here in 9th. We got Type R in 10th. We have Iron Knight here in 11th. We got Happy Pappy in 12th. We've got Ken Neely in 13th. And we've got Egon now in 14th position. So Pickham's will get a 15th place finish, unfortunately, here for his race today. And probably not going to be overly happy about that. But at the same time, what do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, as racers in Gran Turismo 7, we've all experienced the disconnect. And you just don't see that from drivers like Pigham's very often. So it's unfortunate. You hate to see it. And definitely going to change his strategy for the rest of the season now, as he's going to find himself, well, not where he potentially was expecting to be in the standings here coming into round 3 as well. So it is Bar 27 here in second place. We got Mike now in third, but Hair Racer's closing in here with 6.3, got it down to 5.2. So again, Mike looking like he's going to try and pull the one stop here, and that could work out in his favor. It could. He might be in a good position here strategy-wise. We got Tron Kobe here in 6th position. We have Doug Burrow here in 7th place. We got Supra and Dialflow Racing battling it out here now. And oh, big slide there from Supra. Manages to gather that car up. But it is going to be a freebie there for Dialflow Racing, as he didn't have to work too hard to get around there, as that mistake made by Supra allowed him just to tuck up the inside and get the job done. But Supra having a little bit of a struggle with that Audi here today around. Again, the technical parts of this racetrack. So Dialflow Racing finds himself now up into 8th place and Supra down into 9th position. We got Type R in 10th right now. Iron Knight having a nice little battle here with Happy Pappy. It's a half-second gap separating the two drivers here. It's a Lexus versus GTR situation here, and this is a battle for 11th to 12th position between the two guys here. Let's stick with this for a minute as Pappy's closing in here. Battles all through the field. We're only halfway, just officially halfway into this race now, ladies and gentlemen. So there's still 30 minutes remaining in this bad boy yet, and lots of battles to be had yet. So Pappy now in the slipstream. He's closed up a little bit there coming through Tolbarone, and as we head down the tunnel here, what's that gap? It's still about 0.45 seconds. So seeming like the GTR and the NSX fairly equal on that straight line. You can see he closed up a little bit there, but not close enough to make a move on Dialful Racing here. But he's going to get a tight exit. He's going to get down on the power nice and early. A little bit of a wiggle from both the drivers on exit there. And you can see Ken Neely just off in the background of 13th here. He's actually just nibbling away at these two drivers here as well. And let's jump to that driver. So what's that gap? It's about 4 seconds here right now over the rest of the drivers in the track here. So working hard, but running out of fuel. Probably going to be seeing a pit stop coming from this driver here relatively soon. We got Egon here in 14th position. So the Alexis of TT Pigham's in behind pit wall here today. Mechanical failure in that car, and unfortunate there for his race here today as he was battling for third position when the car just went kaput. So it happens. They'll get the car fixed up. He'll be back and ready in 2 weeks' time for round 3. So it is Subi Mark here in the lead. It's bar 27 here in second position. Mike now making the pit stop. So at the halfway point of the race, like we suspected, he looks like he's on a one-stop strategy here. We got Petrolhead coming in here for his second pit stop of the race. Interesting. Going for the undercut strategy here is Petrol. And this is a battle between Doug and Trone right now for fifth and fourth place. So Trone and Doug, I think Trone was ahead of Doug here. So Doug just recently grabbed this position, I believe, from Trone right now on the racing track. And Trone is in behind 4/10 of a second here. So Doug now opening up the gap a little bit here between himself and Trone. Kobe trying to close up on Hair Razor here in third place, 9 seconds. Ooh, pardon me, I got the hiccups at the moment up the road. Trone Kobe in 5th place. We got Dialful Racing here in 6th position as well. And I mean, there's so many positions up for grabs here still. We got Super now closing in here in 7th place as well. Losing touch, I guess. So we just seen that battle happen between these two a lap ago. And Super now trying to close back in on that NSX up in front here. We got Type R in 8th position. He's got Mike 1972 just up in behind him here. And this is after Mike's pit stop. You can see Type R. He just moves out of the way here. He gets off the racing line, and might have been a mistake maybe on the exit there. The car did kind of react a little odd, and it's side-by-side action here as the two drivers go by, and he's almost treating it like a blue flag situation, but it's not a blue flag situation. He's literally just slowed enough to allow Mike to get ahead and not cost himself any time and pace himself is basically what we've seen there. So and our suspicion on Trone's strategy was 100% correct. Very short, hard tire run here from Trone Kobe, and now we're going to see him finish off on those medium racing tires here. So let's see how this works out for Trone today, because he's had good pace all day long as well. Subi Mark is in the racing lead here. It's Bar 27 in 2nd place. The gap is 2 seconds between the two drivers here. Bar has been slowly but surely tracking. We got Hair Razor here in 3rd place. There's a 12-second gap there right now. So right now, the two 10-10s drivers got a little bit of a cushion over Hair Razor. Doug in 4th place. He's got 8 seconds. He's closing in little tiny bits here right now on his teammate up ahead of him. We've got Dialful Racing here in 5th place, and he's still got Mike 1972 right there in behind. So Super, pardon me. Not sure why I thought that was Mike. His deliveries are fairly similar, I guess. I had a moment there, chat. We had a moment. It happens. Alright, so this is a defensive move here by Dialful Racing, but that may allow Super to get the cutback. Dialful planned on that. He took a short exit line out of that corner to make sure there was no cutback to come from the Audi driver in behind, and unfortunately for Super, he had to try and take the long way around, and that's going to cost him just enough of a run to not to get the position here before the start-finish line, but it does allow him to get back up and battle for this position. So again, Dialful Racing goes to the defensive position here. He's going to put Super on the outside. Now we have seen drivers hold the outside, but Super looks like he's going to go for the big exit here, close up, moving into the technical sector. Now, obviously, Super's probably aware that his car is slightly lacking through this sector, so his objective here is probably just to try and stay as close as he can to Dialful Racing up in front of him here in 5th place, and then hopefully when he gets onto the big run out of Tolbarone, he's close enough to take advantage of that long straightaway and try to get something happening in St. Bernard's corner. But we'll have to wait and see how he navigates this infield sector. Coming down Zurich, he had a tighter line than Dialful in front, and that is going to potentially allow him to get the run he needs coming up in through Tolverone here, and the gap is less than 2 tenths here, so he definitely got the job done. He did what he needed to do there, but again, Diaflow Racing just immediately moves to the defensive position. He's not messing around. He's not willing to give an easy battle here to Super, but Super had got a great charge down the straight there in that car with that DRS button, and he does manage to get the position leading into St. Bernard's corner, but he is under pressure immediately from Diaflow Racing. Swapped position here. Super goes from 6th to 5th, and we see Diaflow actually coming into pit lane there in 6th position. So some of the drivers starting to make those pit stops here. All right, so it is Subi Mark. He comes out in the race lead, and I believe that's Ken Neely just up in front of him there as well. Currently there, and Ken Neely just immediately gets out of the way. That was a great job there by Ken. And again, pit stop sequence, creating a little bit of blue flag traffic currently here on the racetrack. We got bar 27 here in second place, and Doug is tucked in right now. So short pit stops here for the drivers as Barr was able to come out in second place, but I mean, he came out just ahead of Doug Burrow. We got Super here now up into 4th place. He hasn't pit while those other drivers were pitting. He took advantage of some position gain there. We've got Mike here in 5th position. Got Hair Razor here in 6th. We got Petrol now up into 7th place, and he's been a little quiet here today. Trone in 8th place, tracking 1.4 seconds in behind, with Dialful Racing just in behind him, 1.3 seconds in behind. Then that leaves Iron Knight holding out the top 10 here in our field today. Type R here in 11th position. We got Egon in 12th. We got Pappy here in 13th. And we got Ken Neely in 14th position. Currently mixed in with our front runners right now, but again, just out of pit stop sequence. So with just under 23 minutes remaining left here in the race, we have Subi Mark in the lead. Done his final pit stop here. We got Doug Burrow in second place. He did manage to actually get around bar 27, but now he's in pit lane, so he's just going to give that right back up to bar 27. So Bar's going to continue up the road here in second position. We got Doug in, we got Super in. Mike has made his final pit stop, so he should be able to grab a position, maybe 2 here as he comes up. We'll have to wait, as apparently it's a fairly short pit here at Deep Forest Raceway today, as those drivers are looking at about 20-second stops. It looks like maybe 30 tops here. So Mike does grab 3rd place here as he comes around. That leaves Hair Razor now up into 4th place. Petrol's going to grab 5th place. Just grabs 5th place there from Doug as he comes out of pit lane. So Petrol with the undercut strategy there has found himself going from 9th basically to 5th place with that undercut, but he is going to be on slightly older tires than the rest of the group in behind him, so we'll see if he can hold. We got Trone and Doug battling for position here. This is for 6th and 7th place. Doug came out ahead of Trone out of the pit lane. Obviously Trone was scrubbed in tires, a little bit of heat in those tires, and up the race pace, having an immediate little battle there with Doug, but he couldn't quite get the job done. A little mistake made there by Doug, and that allows Trone to tuck right back in behind him. We're going to stick with this here. A juicy little fight happening here for 6th and 7th place right now between Trone, Kobe, and Doug Burrow, and Petrohead up there just ahead in 5th place as well. So, four-way battle with Diaful Racing just lurking in the background here as well now for position. So, a lot of the drivers have made those final stops here for today's race, and we're going to start seeing the action pick back up here now as we get 22 minutes to go, 21 basically, and some change. So, Trone having to bail a little bit there. He got a huge run on Doug there in the slipstream, and Doug just tapped the brake a little bit there, and Trone had to jump out there to get some clean air, and he almost got inside of Doug there. I'm not sure. That was a little crazy there. I'm not sure what happened there, but Trone had to make a reactive move there, and it cost him a little bit of time on that front pack, and now he's got Diaful Racing right up in his business here, so Trone immediately going to the defensive line here. We've seen Diaful hold the outside of turn 1 though already in this race. Can he do it again here and get the position on Trone Kobe? And Doug does get around Petrol there as well, so Doug now moves up into 5th place. Petrohead drops down to 6th place. Trone Kobe defends the position from Diaful Racing there coming out of Geneva and stays in 7th place, and Diaful is now tucked right in 8th place, so this is now a 4-way battle here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place, and it's a good one. All right, so Doug is leading the charge. He's got a signal light on here currently right now on the racetrack. Turn your signal light off, Doug. And Petrohead very close in behind, Trone, Kobe, and Dialful Racing. So we've got a Lexus, we've got a GTR, we've got 3 NSX and a GTR here in this battle right now. And, track limit infraction there for Trone, Kobe. Few and far between here on Deep Forest. Not that easy to pick up penalties here, and that is going to potentially give up the position to Diaful Racing this time here. And Diaful's going to look up the inside there. Trone's not even going to try and fight it this time. Obviously, he's a little bit down on overall speed, and he's just going to settle right back into line there in 8th place. So Diaful Racing does get the job done, and now we see Supra coming into the background here as well. So potentially developing into a 5-way battle there here very soon. We got Subi Mark still in the lead of this race. Bar 27 is 2.6 seconds in behind. He was our fastest qualifier, and he is our fastest driver on the racetrack right now, but finds himself only in 2nd here at the moment. We got Mike 1972 in 3rd place here. Oh, he's coming up on Ken Neely there. Ken Neely just tried to get the position up to him here a little bit there, and I think that might have screwed him up there a little bit. Just for future reference for the drivers, you can hold your line through these technical sectors. These guys will wait for you guys to get into a more better position for you guys to give up the position without costing yourself time or an incident on the track. My dude, hate to see it like that. He was just trying to get out of the way, and he caught some grass there. It's unfortunate. We got Hair Razor here in 4th place. We got Doug in 5th, and he's got Petrolhead still nipping right there in 6th place. So the 4-way battle's kind of developed into 2-car battles here at the moment. Doug and Rad's Petrolhead there just with a slight amount of pace advantage currently over Trone and Diaful, but that also might be due to each group battling with each other a little bit here. Trone and Diaful battling pretty hard back here right now, and that is going to cost them time on that pack fight up in front of them here. So at some point they either got to play nice with each other and try to gain 2 extra positions, or just continue to battle it out there for 7th and 8th place and eventually lose touch with those guys up in front. And we'll have to leave that up to those 2. But same situation for Doug and Petrol there as well, up ahead of them, but they are also teammates, so there might be a little bit of nice play involved there. Ooh, a little bit of contact there as Diaful and Trone are going here. Trone going on the defense there. Diaful squeezing him tight there, and that's just to try and get a big run on the outside of the corner here. It's a very good racing play right there, and it worked. I mean, Trone did not get an optimal line there. He didn't get over for far enough into the corner to defend that there once Diaful went up the track to make his turn in there, and that was just enough for him to get the position on Trone. So that was a very calculated pass right there by Diaful Racing on Trone, Kobe, and it worked to a T, as setup and execution was textbook right there on that move for 7th place. So now he's finding himself defending on Trone, and Trone is tucked right in behind it. I mean, this is slipstream driving here now. He actually gives him a little push there. So Trone may be thinking along the same lines as the broadcaster here right now, and thinking, hey, wait a minute, we're battling, we're losing time to these 2 up front. If we just work together just a tiny little bit here, we could close up to these 2 and maybe grab more positions. Trone going deep into St. Bernard's corner. He went deep on the brakes there, and side-by-side action as we head down through, but Diaful Racing's just going to get the hold there, and Trone with a big move on the outside there, and oh boy, it is strategy games being played between these 2 drivers on the racetrack right now, and this is some fun. Ooh, we got some battling happening here, and coming in Geneva, it's going to be Trone and Diaful Racing side by side on lap number 32 here, and oh boy, that is a heartbreaker. Trone gets it a little bit wrong on the exit, slides across the front end of Diaful Racing there. Thankfully, no damage picked up there for Diaful Racing, and unfortunately for Trone there, that's going to cost him a couple of positions. He's going to get that car turned around. He's got some heavy damage on that racing car right now, but it will go away, and finds himself in 9th place, and he was having such a great race. You hate to see it. Type R here in 10th position. We've got Egon here in 11th place. We've got Happy Pappy here in 12th position as well. Iron Knight here in 13th, and Ken here in 14th position. Cameraman had a hard time finding him there, but it is our race leader, Subi Mark here. He did win round number 1, and he's looking to take a win here in round number 2 as well. So he's looking to go on a little bit of a winning streak here in the GR2 series this season by the looks of it, and chasing his first championship here at the GTRC as well. So looking good early on in the season here so far from Subi Mark. We've got Bar 27 here in 2nd place, 2.2 seconds is gap, so it was 2.6 seconds before, so a great pace management between Subi Mark and Bar 27. Clearly very closely paced, because it has been very slow gain from Bar 27 here on his teammate up in front. We've got Mike 1972 here in 3rd place. The gap is 13 seconds. That leaves Hair Razor chasing in 4th place, and he's closing in 1 second here on Mike 1972. So maybe be a late battle here for that final podium position. Yeah, we got Doug chasing in 5th place, and he's got 10 seconds to his teammate up in front there. That spin mid-race definitely hurt his chances at a podium finish here today. Petrolhead here up into 6th place, and we have a Driver of the Day award going to the drivers here. Now, there's no bonus points for that or anything like that. As far as the point standings goes, it's just recognition in the GTRC community server. You get a special roll color for the week, and everybody knows that you're the driver of the day from the last round of GR2 racing. But it's just a fun little honor for the drivers, and Petrolhead's definitely in the conversation here today. We got Supra here in 8th place. We've got Trone Kobe in 9th position. We have Type R here in 10th. We've got Egon in 11th place. We've got Pappy here in 12th. Got Iron Knight here in 13th. And we got Ken here in 14th position. And he's just having a tough day today, but he's doing a good job. He's just got to keep pushing. He's just got to keep moving, keep working with these guys. And next thing you know, he's going to be fighting and battling with these guys through these races. Let's go Egon. Let's go Team Rad. Alright, so it is Subi Mark here, again, still with the race lead, but that lead is diminishing here with just under 14 minutes remaining here. Bar 27 is definitely trying to close in on his teammate here in 2nd place, looking for that race win. We got Mike 1972 here in 3rd position. We got Hair Razor in 4th. That gap was his second just a half a lap ago, so he's got that nibbled down to 0.8 of a second here. So Hair Razor's just out the tail end of the slipstream strength here right now on these cars. However, with the lobby settings, you might need to be smidgen closer, I think, for slip to take full effect. But Hair Razor here closing in, and still a second, so there's going to be a battle there. I can feel it. We got Doug. He's 10 seconds down the road from those two guys up there. He's got Petrolhead teammate in behind, 2.3 seconds in the GTR here, and closing slowly but surely. Again, both those drivers also very equally paced drivers. We got Diaflow Racing here in 7th place. We've got Supra here in 8th, and the Audi's having a better run here this week compared to Red Bull Ring last week, so I'm sure he'll feel a little bit better about that today. We've got Trone Kobe here in 9th place, and that spin there in that fight with Diaflow Racing there, unfortunately, took him out of the fight here a little bit, but still up in the top 10. Got Type R here in 10th position. Got Happy Pappy here in 13th. He's got Iron Knight closing in here as well in 12th place. And now those drivers also have some lead lap traffic, it looks like, closing in here as well. We got Egon in 14th and 13th and Ken Neely here in 14th position. And it does look like Super Mark is closing in on a couple of our drivers here today. So it looks like he's closing in on that battle happening up in front of him here. Now, this is a tricky situation for a lead lap car because that is a battle for position up ahead of him here, and those drivers do have the right to that battle on the racetrack because it is a battle for position. Regardless of whether or not the lead cars are on them, they are entitled to their battle. So it's actually up to Subi Mark in this case right now to be patient, wait for the battle to finish before he navigates around those cars, or just outright find a way to get around them while they're battling. That's up to the lead car driver at this point. So we're going to stay on this because this is a great little battle here between Pappy and Iron Knight. Looks like Iron Knight just got the job done there. A huge move on the outside of the corner. Coming in Geneva here, so Iron Knight's going to grab a spot there and move ahead of Happy Pappy, and we're still sticking with this because Subi Mark is closing in on these two here as our race leader, and again, side-by-side action up in front of our race leader here right now. Let's jump on board with him while this fight's going on. This sounds fun. There we go. And again, he's, got to find a way to navigate that battle. He tried to take a look up the inside there into that corner, and that was definitely not a good place to place his car right there as Pappy went to go have a fight with Iron Knight there. Pappy looking up the inside on Iron Knight there, and he gets the job back done. And what a scrap we're having in front of our race leader here. So now the race leader has the opportunity here. You got a little bit of separation on the two cars. You can see Iron Knight backed off there. He gave the position up to Mark, and now we'll see the same thing come from Pappy. But that was a great battle there. Mark took the risk there. He tried to get the job done in the infield sector on Pappy, and Pappy moved over to respond in the battle with Iron Knight there, and almost took Mark out of the racer. And you can see he's just trying to get out of the way of our race leader there. He just moves out of the way, and he tucks it right back in behind Subi Mark here on the race lead. So that was a little intense right there as those two were battling it out for position in front of Mark, our race leader there. Now we got bar 27. He's closing in on these guys here as well. Now the gap is 1.8 seconds between him and Mark. So that battle that was happening in front of our race leader with our 11th and 12th place drivers there really did lose him some time to his teammate in behind. And they might be teammates, but when this clock goes down to the white flag being waved, I guarantee you, if they are close enough to fight for that P1, that fight is going to go down. So here we go. And Barr now has to navigate this traffic here as well, and this could cost him time. He gets around the first driver relatively easy. Iron Knight does a great job of just getting out of the way there and allowing him through. And that's unfortunate because they were having a great battle, him and Happy Pappy there. And now these guys kind of interfere with that slightly. You can see the gap has opened up between Pappy and Iron Knight a little bit, but there is still time for that battle to re-engage. So Bar 27, he's in the slipstream of Happy Pappy here right now. And this is going to help him ideally gain some time on the leader, and he's actually on a purple sector here as well now because of it. So and he's going to move up the inside here. No, he's not going to move up the inside on Pappy here. He didn't have enough position on Pappy to get that done, and Pappy went a little bit wide there on purpose to allow Barr through, and Barr got through much more efficiently than Subi Mark did through that lap traffic, and it paid, it rewarded him by 1.1 second gain on Mark up in front. So no more lap traffic to factor in here. It is on between those two. Oh, there we go. We got a battle happening for the final podium position in behind here as well. I was kind of keeping my eye on that. I've seen these arrows getting pretty close together. Figured we better come check out what's happening back here. And Hairrazor's tucked right in. Mike on the defense here, heading into turn number 1 on lap number 38 here. And this is a battle for 3rd and 4th place here right now on the racetrack, with the race winding down just a little over 9 minutes, under 9 minutes, or 8 minutes. With about 8 minutes remaining. Hairrazor getting the job done, moving up into that final podium position here. So Mike 1972 falls down into 4th place, but he is tucked right back up in underneath the wing of Hairrazor. A little bit of a mistake right there coming through that sector, but he is still close enough to grab some slipstream here coming out of Zurich and Toblerone and heading up that back straightaway, heading towards St. Bernard's Corner. So are we going to see the setup and execution here from Mike 1972? I do see a car up ahead of these guys here. I'm not sure who that is. It might be some lap traffic. It could be Barr. But there's definitely a car up ahead of him there. And doesn't look like Mike's going to get the response here. He is tucked into that slipstream. He's definitely trying to get close enough here, but not going to be close enough to get a move here coming into St. Bernard's Corner on this particular moment. We got Doug here in 5th. We got Petrol in 6th. We got Diaful now in 7th alone here. Got Supra in 8th place. We got Trone in 9th. We got Type R in 10th. We got Pappy here in 11th position. We've got Iron Knight in 12th. He is starting to close back in on Pappy, so we might be seeing this battle re-engaged here. We got Egon there in 13th. We got Ken Neely in 14th position, and we have Piggums with a DNF here today, mechanical issue, and in behind pit wall on lap 20 here today, out of a battle for 3rd place too. Heartbreaker here today from Piggums. So it is Mark here in the race lead. He's coming in behind Type R here right now. We did see some blue flags waving when we were going through our field there, and sure enough, it is our race leader catching up to our 10th place driver Type R here now on the racetrack, and he got a huge gain there right on Type R, and he's just going to use the slipstream there. He's just going to move over around, and Type R doesn't even have to do anything there. He can just chill, and the race leader gets around nice and clean there. So 2-second gap, he's worked back over his teammate Bar 27, so he's actually gained about 0.3 of a second here this time around the racetrack, and we're winding down. We've got 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this race, so we're going to see about another 4 laps, maybe 5, but definitely 4 here as we come around. So Barr is running out of time if he wants to fight Mark for that 1st place position. We got side-by-side action here between Mike and Hairrazor, and this is re-engaging that fight for 3rd place here. So Hairrazor got it away from Mike. Mike's gotten it back from him here on lap number 39, and now Mike 1972 back on the final step here on the podium, and he is battling with Hairrazor here for that step. Hairrazor has been a little quiet here over the last couple seasons. We haven't had our opportunity to talk to him too much here on the podium, so he's definitely going to be looking for that 3rd place finish here today, as he has it in sight, and it's side by side through Geneva here on lap 40, and we've seen that outside line work in this race already, but not this time. And Mike 1972 gets the defensive hold here for the time being, and it is battle on here for 3rd and 4th place between Hairrazor and Mike 1972, and you can see Egon's just up ahead of him here as well. That'll be a blue flag situation here, but once those guys catch up to Egon will get out of the way and let these guys have their fight here, I'm sure. But Heading down into Zurich and Toblerone here right now. The gap is only 0.6 of a second, so Mike's doing a pretty good job of just keeping enough of a gap on Hair Razor. He can't make an immediate move, but now we got this long straightaway here. So slight advantage does kind of go to Mike here in this situation because he does have Egon up ahead of him here, so he can kind of use the slipstream of Egon to help maintain some of that speed because Hair Razor is in his slipstream right now, so that allows him to continue to maintain that gap coming into the corner. You can see Hair Razor just grabbing some clean air to break under here, and he really closes up on Mike 1972. But again, good timing to have a blue flag car come up in that long back straight for Mike 1972 right there, because that allowed him to get a little bit of a gap on Hair Razor up the tunnel. In other words, we might have been able to see, we might have been seeing a battle for position here. So it's Subi Mark and Bar 27, 1.4 seconds, and Bar is pushing right now to try and close that gap. We got Mike 1972 here in third place, and Bar needs to be careful how hard he pushes there. He doesn't want to give up a guaranteed second place here either at the same time. We got Hair Razor here in fourth place. They've just gotten around Egon there. As I said, this battle just slightly broken up for the second here by Egon. That's going to be a slight inconvenience for the fourth place drivers. He's now going to try and close that gap back up, but that is racing. We got Doug Burrow here in fifth place. We got Petrolhead here in sixth. So not a whole lot happening right now in the mid pack at the moment. Supra is closing in slowly but surely on Diafol. Got Type R here in 10th. Pappy's closing in on Type R here, so potential battle happening there. All right, well, let's stick up front here. Let's stick with our front two groups here. These guys are the ones that are supplying the action for us here late race right now, so we are definitely going to stick with them here. And it is Subi Mark and Bar 27 here in first and second place. The gap is 1.2 seconds. Bar's not quite in the slipstream, and we've got 3 minutes and 27 seconds remaining, so we're going to see 3 more laps, including the lap that we are on here. We got Mike 1972 coming around. He's still holding out the charge from Hair Razor here in fourth place. The gap is 0.4 of a second. We got another blue flag car up ahead there. I believe that is Iron Knight up ahead of these guys right now. And the gap is about 0.3 of a second as we head into Geneva. So Hair Razor pushing and Mike pushing just as hard here to try and keep Hair Razor off him. We got Doug in fifth place. We got Petrolhead here in sixth. We got Diafol there in seventh. And you can see some of the drivers starting to catch up to these guys here in the background. So it's Subi Mark here, and he's coming in on Ken Neely here. And Ken Neely's had a rough race here today. It's been a tough day for him, but he's out here. He's still getting that seat time. He's getting that all-important practice. You can see Par 27 trying to take advantage of some slipstream there to try and gain a little more speed on his opponent up ahead of him there. And unfortunately for him there, it didn't really seem to help him any. And 1.1 seconds is that gap. So we are... I don't know if we're going to see this battle, but Mark has got just enough to keep that gap from letting Bar close in right now. So let's get back to the third and fourth place positional battle here for a minute and keep our eye on this. This is Hair Razor and Mike 1972. This is for the final podium spot here in the race today. And I mean, Doug is he's about 12 seconds behind these guys. So yeah, really it is down to these 4 drivers for these 3 podium positions here right now in the race, but racing is racing and anything can happen. We've already seen that a couple times today. And Mike 1972 is doing a great job at holding up the charge, but Hair Razor got a run this time, and Hair Razor is going to take a look. He's going to get slingshot engaged up the inside here on Mike 1972 heading into Geneva on lap number 43. And move done. So Hair Razor moving back up into third place with a couple laps to go. Was it too soon? All right, we're keeping our eye on gap management here in first and second place. It's just under a second here right now. Bar is pushing hard. Hair Razor, Mike 1972. These two are fighting for this final podium position here, and what a great battle it's been here. And now we got blue flag car coming into the mix here as well. So lots of excitement here at the end of this race, and he's just going to absolutely stick it to the outside there. He's not even going to get in the way, and he actually got a good run through the corner there. He's just going to tuck right into these guys' slipstream here and follow along with them. So that worked out well, actually, for Iron Knight right there, as these guys caught up to him here, and he's just going to get a free run up this long straightaway from these guys here. And it is side-by-side action, so Hair Razor is going on the defensive here, and who is going to go later on the brakes? Big run coming from Mike 1972 here. He's looking for the huge charge, the big exit, and he is 0.4 of a second in behind Hair Razor. I don't know if that was enough to get the slipstream here by the end of this straightaway, and Hair Razor had a really great tight entry there, good defensive corner there, and I take it back, look at that, he is right there, he's tucked right back in, he's going to move to the outside, he does have slingshot, he has a little overspeed to his advantage here, this might help this outside attempt, and right back at it here, and again, side-by-side action coming through Geneva, and Mike 1972 gets that job done on the outside. What a pass by Mike 1972, he knew that he had to do it on the outside, boy did he ever make that work, and now he's got himself up into third place. We got to go up front here. We got to see what's happening. We got Mark still in the lead. He's still got a second over bar 27 here. We've got Mike 1972 and Hair Razor, and this is a cracking battle, and we are not, we're probably sticking right here with this battle unless the leaders start fighting here before the end of this thing. This is where the action has definitely been. We got Pappy there, right nibbling actually on Type R here as well, and this is a battle happening in front of that battle for third and fourth place, so battles all over the racetrack. This Group 2 series has been something else, hasn't it? Oh my goodness, what a great series. Oh, we got Ken Neely having a little wibble wobble there up in front. And defensive here is Type R. Pappy taking a look, trying to get it done on the outside. I think he was looking for a cutback there, and he couldn't get it done. So now Mike 1972 and Hair Razor trying to take advantage of this here. And here we go. Oh, it is going to be a race win for Soupy Mark, and it's going to be bar 27 in second place. Or I thought they were going to get another lap. I apologize to our race winners there if we didn't get them coming across the line there. And what a mixed bag we got here. We got 10th and 11th and 3rd and 4th place here. So it's going to be Mike 1972 in 4th place. It's going to be Hair Razor in 4th place, just in behind. Doug Barrow here in 5th. He's got Egon tailing in behind there. It's going to be Happy Pappy in 11th place, and I believe Type R in 9th. We'll confirm that once we get down to that part of the grid here. But it is going to be Doug Barrow in 5th place. You're going to see Egon with a 13th place finish there in behind him as well. It's going to be Petrolhead to come through in 6th place here today. And probably not an ideal race finish here for him. He's going to have some work to do here in round number 3 to get back up those standings. We got Supra. He's going to take 7th place here, and that was a great run here. He's going to get that late position of Dialful Racing there. He's going to finish in 8th place. Trone Kobe in 9th place. Had that tough moment there. Otherwise, he could have been further up the field. It's going to be Type R holding out 10th place on Pappy for 11th position there. Iron Knight is going to take 12th. We're going to see Egon in 13th. We're going to see Ken Neely in 14th position, and we're going to see Piggums in 15th place, and that's unfortunate there for TT Piggums here today, but cars break. That's racing, unfortunately. So unofficially it is TT Subi Mark with the race win. It's going to be bar 27 in second place with the fastest lap on the track here today. Bonus point in pocket for him. It's going to be Mike 1972 in 3rd place, Hair Razor in 4th place, Doug Barrow in 5th, Petrolhead in 6th, Supra in 7th, Dialful Racing in 8th place. It's going to be Trone Kobe here in 9th, Type R in 10th, Happy Pappy in 11th, Iron Knight in 12th, Egon in 13th, Ken Neely in 14th, and it's going to be Piggums in 15th with that mechanical failure on lap 20. And it's unfortunate to see because it would have been another driver in the mix for battling for position here in this race, but racing is racing, like I said, and unfortunately we can't control what the game does. It's just a part of it. Oh, and Pappy coming across with a penalty there, and that is unfortunate. That may have made the difference there for position on him as well. And that was a great job by all our drivers. So we're going to flip you back over to this screen here for a moment. Well, we take a moment to get into our podium interview chat and have a little chat with our drivers. All right. It's just going to take a minute chat, so bear with. How was the race for everybody? That was crazy racing. My boyfriend's in this game. Hey, beauty. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. It is a great game. It really is. All right, so I'll be right back, chat. Just bear with here. We got to get Discord opened up. I don't run Discord when I'm live streaming until I need to because it tends to make the computer not run so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think about that race? I mean, feedback. Tell us what you think. There were battles all race long. Again, 2 rounds in a row here with these Group 2 cars, and these drivers really seem to have a handle on them. Again, we've seen a lot of pretty clean racing from these drivers. We've seen a little bit of tire-to-tire contact in a couple of the battles here, but we didn't see any, car-to-car contact smashing somebody off track or anything crazy like that. We've seen, again, just a relatively well-controlled race from this group, and it's not an easy task in these Group 2 racing cars either. So GG's to the drivers, GG's to the admin staff for setting up the series, and just bear with me here as my Discord, again, just doesn't work so well sometimes. All right, we'll get it sorted, chat. We'll get it sorted. All right, Discord, why are you causing me problems? Sorry, we got a little trick. We'll get it fired up here. All right. Almost there. We're almost there. My computer is on the way out, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully our streaming PC lasts a little while longer till we can replace it. But it is definitely starting to struggle with what we're doing with it here now. So hopefully, like I said, it holds out, because we're not quite ready to make that purchase yet. All right, so I got Discord loading up here. I do apologize about the delay again. I'm at the mercy of my equipment, unfortunately. And Discord, surprisingly, eats up a lot of resources on your PC when it's running, so it tends to lag your computer out when you got lots of things going on, like a live stream, for example. So we're almost there. Oh, interesting. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, I can't change my Discord settings. It's just not letting me. Why? I don't understand. It's not giving me my sound options. Yeah. So, no interviews if I can't get this working because you guys won't be able to hear 'em. Why? Like, where's my sound settings? Discord, seriously. Oh, I'm so annoyed right now. There we go. Alright, now let's see if I can hear these guys now. Alright, I got it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got our sound sorted out finally. I apologize. Discord isn't playing very nice. And it looks like we've got two of our finishers and a representative for our third place finisher, or did Hellraiser finish in third? I'm not even sure. Alright. Well, there we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn some audio on so you can hear these beautiful voices in behind the background here. All right, so we have Hairraiser here for us, and Hairraiser is going to talk on behalf of our third place finisher, Mike 1972, and absolutely great 5-6 lap end race battle there for yourself and of course Mike 1972. Mike 1972 just edging that battle out, but boy, that battle really got complicated by some battling blue flag traffic up in front as well, and all four of you guys actually crossing the line while in your separate battles for position at the end of the race. Talk us through the race, and I mean, how did it go?
It went pretty well. I was I was pushing to catch up Mike. Mike's a very quick driver. He's very good, and I caught him up, but to pass him it was very difficult. And when I did pass him, he'd get me back in the slipstream. And of course, like you say, blue flag traffic. It was at the last corner. It was really hard to get the power on to get past them, because obviously it was like 3 car wide at one stage.
Absolutely, and I mean, the battle going on in front of you. Obviously, those drivers entitled to that battle, so it's a tough situation at the end of the race. But a whole race of battling and fighting for position and pit strategy, and just trying not to make that big mistake. And as the race actually settles down here, it's starting to get quite cloudy and overcast on the racetrack, which could have made for a fairly slippery racetrack here today. But I mean, track conditions have a different style racetrack here than Red Bull Ring last week as well. This one has some big straight long runs for these cars, and it has that really tight technical sweeping sector. So I mean, how was it navigating through that while battling, and of course, trying to stay close enough to your competitor to try and make the pass on those big straightaways?
It was really tough, because when you come up to the S section after the first turning, it was if you get a foot wrong, even if you don't put the power on early enough, you tend to be lose a little bit of time, and that can cost you quite a little bit. So the concentration on it whole hour is mind bending, really, to be honest. And then when you are on a straight, you obviously the cars are evenly matched near enough, so you need to be in slipstream to try and pass. And even if you do try and pass, like you say, it's putting the power on early enough, coming out the corners without spinning. But yeah, it was a very, very technical circuit, even for Mike. But I know that at the end even he was exhausted. So well done to him.
Just changing the screen over for everybody. My bad, everybody. I got so flustered there. But nonetheless, great racing, get a great battle. I mean, we've seen 2 rounds of racing now in this Group 2 series so far this season with some really tight, incredible racing action. It really seems like you guys got a pretty good handle on these cars. Enjoying the Group 2s, say, more than the Group 3s?
Yeah, absolutely loving it. Really, to be fair, they're very good cars to drive. They can get really twitchy on the back end if you put the power down too much. But as for competition wise with everybody, it's fairly even, and it's some of it's down to driver's skill, but it's brilliant. The close action as you get in with the Group Twos is phenomenal, and the speed as well. You get more speed out of them.
Absolutely, and of course, just providing for great racing so far this season. It is a heated championship here, and I think, well, right now, obviously, our race winner here, which we'll talk to in a little bit in a few minutes' time here, it definitely has a big target on his back, coming with back-to-back wins to start the season. But sitting in a good point in the standings here, a nice fourth place finish for yourself and a third place finish for Mike. That's going to shoot you both up into the standings. Obviously, with the mechanical failure of Pigham's race car there, that's also allows a few positions possibly to be gained there for some of the drivers here today as well. But overall, happy with how the season's been going here so far.
Yeah, for saying it's the second race, so far so good. I've not really spun off track very much, apart from the odd little corner, But in this race, it's been great. I've not made any mistakes. And for Piggins, I really feel sorry for Piggins on his disc DQ, but hopefully he'll be back in it. Hopefully next time.
Absolutely, and I mean that's just the nature of the racing beast. Unfortunately, it happens when you least expect it, but early enough in the season to still make up for it. So, not full devastation as of yet, but definitely some work cut out for him here moving into future rounds. But nonetheless, congratulations, great race, and shout outs and thank yous.
Yeah, shout out to all the drivers that are taking part, doing very well, especially for the back markers as well. They're doing a phenomenal job for saying that they're new drivers, obviously as well into the GTRC. And also, congratulations on yourself as well. Thank you very much for hosting. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we'll have some very good racing this season.
Absolutely, and well, if the first 2 rounds are any indication, I think the whole season is going to be pretty action packed. That's for sure. But congratulations! We'll let you get back to your garage there, and thanks for stepping in on behalf of our third place finisher here today.
Cheers, bud. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to go talk to our second place finisher. This driver was our fastest qualifier. He started in pole position here on the race today. And the only other driver that had an answer for him here today was our eventual race winner, but he was also our fastest lap holder in the race here today. That bonus point in pocket is always a nice thing to have. Great race from you here today, coming in second place. Didn't necessarily have the best first race result you were looking for. Definitely got a good race result here today. So congratulations on an absolutely great race finish here for you. And talk us through how your race day went today.
Thank you, Tim. I will say one thing. I want to congratulate my teammate Mark. For the life of me, I could not catch him. I was trying to push so hard at the end, trying to catch him, but hey, he held me off pretty well. Other than that, I had a pretty good battle with Doug in the beginning, and pretty much just try to keep my strategy. I pretty much just tried to pit when Mark pitted, and it's basically pretty good race.
Absolutely, and out of all the battles and all the fights and all the scraps for position we've seen in this hour-long race here today, you weren't too crazily involved in a lot of that battling. Your strategy and your pace just kind of kept you moving and grooving, not really having to fight for position as much. You seemed to time to, when drivers were pitting, making their pit stops, and just grabbing those free positions as you're scudding up the long back straight to the start finish line. So, really, your fight was kind of early on in the race, and then of course, like you said, really trying to track down your teammate up in front to try and battle for that race win ultimately today. But great pace coming out of you today, great consistency, and the drivers that didn't make the big mistake really got rewarded here today, and it's going to be a good points gain here for you today too as well. Obviously, you're uh, like I said, not quite as happy as you were hoping to finish in the first round of the season opener, but definitely came in with a purpose and a mission here today. You were definitely pushing hard. We made mention of that actually at the broadcast near in the last few laps there as you were trying to close in on Mark up in front of you there. I mean, how on the edge were you while you were pushing that car? And was there at any point during that push to try and catch the race leader at the end of the race where you kind of said to yourself, hold on, man, I might be pushing a little too hard here and compromise my own position? Did that thought come across your mind, or were you just hyper focused on trying to get that battle for first place?
Mainly, I was just trying to keep focus and try to catch Mark. I wasn't really worrying about third place at all. I looked at the timing board, and I think it was like 13, 14 seconds away. So I never really thought about that at all.
Absolutely, and maybe a little bit of a contribution to not making a mistake. It just wasn't something that was drawn on your mind. You had obviously you were dialed in and focused on what you were doing here today, but just not quite enough to close in, mark up ahead of you and take that. But nonetheless, still a great finish. And I mean, you guys ran into that situation a little bit too, where you ran into some blue flag traffic that were battling for position, and it actually worked out really well for you because Mark got held up a little bit there in that fight as he was trying to navigate around those guys, and that actually really kind of allowed you to close up a couple seconds of that gap up on them. But once you guys got through that traffic, you really responded by just kind of managing that distance. So great racing from the two of you, and definitely can't wait to see what you're both going to bring in round three. But anything you want to add to your race here today, and any thank yous and shout outs you'd like to throw out there to the viewers watching at home?
Like always, I want to thank Mr. GT45 with the commentating. Thank you for all the fans that go to the broadcast and support their favorite driver. Of course, thank you for my great teammates. They've helped me grow as a driver. I think that's about it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our second place driver, 1010's bar 27. And, he's still chasing his, I believe, first championship here at the GTRC as well. So, good race finish here today and putting himself in a decent position in the standings to continue that push for that championship. And great racing for you here today. And with that being said, we'll let you get back to that clubhouse and go celebrate with the team in behind the scenes there. We appreciate you, my guy.
Thank you, Tim. Just one thing to know. Mark had to go eat, so I don't think he's doing the interview anymore.
That's all right. That's all right. I may not have heard him when he had mentioned that, and if that's the case, that's my bad. My bad. As we were trying to sort out the
It's no
sound
worries.
issues. I mean, Mark had a great race, and I mean, he had great pace out there. He was battling you for that pole position all through qualifying there as well. So, the two drivers that definitely had the pace advantage were you two here today, and ultimately top two finishers here in the race today. I do feel that if Bigham's didn't have the mechanical failure there, that he may have potentially made that a 10-10's podium here today, as he was looking to be in a pretty good position to battle for third place at bare minimum here. But racing is racing, and that happens. But Mark had great pace, and he's on back-to-back wins here to start a Group 2 season. So congratulations to him on behalf of the 1010 Sim Racing team. And I'm sure that he'll be looking for a three-peat here coming round three. But where are we heading for round three, I guess, Bar?
Yamigiwa, a very tire heavy track.
And are we doing full circuit or just a Yamigiwa layout?
Just Yamigiwa.
Okay, so we should be seeing about a minute 25 to a minute 22 lap times, I'm thinking, with these Group 2 cars around there, roughly off the top of my head. For the folks watching at home in 2 weeks' time, it's a great racing track. Actually, it's got great flow, and I think it's going to be really well suited for these Group 2 racing cars here. And I think that drivers need to be maybe looking out for that Audi. We only have one of them here in the series, but that may be a racetrack where that Audi could really utilize that DRS button. So Supra could be a player here in round number 3 as well in the Audi Group 2 racing car. These NSXs, obviously a strong car, a fan favorite and a racer's favorite in the Group 2 class, but the GTRs and Alexis will get to stretch their legs a little bit here as well at Yamagiwa in round number 3. So it's going to be interesting to see who finishes where. Judging by the pace of this field, I think it's anybody's game at any time throughout the season to be standing on the podium talking to us here today. And I mean, you're the owner operator of the Gran Turismo Racing Community. We're early into the season here so far, but we're seeing a little bit of a different vibe here with this Group 2 series compared to previous seasons. Our Group 3s, our Group 4s, and all the great championships you guys release every year. How you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling great about it. It's the fans seem like they're enjoying it more than usual. All the drivers are liking it. It's definitely a very competitive field.
And I have noticed that we have more and more drivers continuing to come in and show interest in this series as well. And we did have intentions on this being a 2-split series that's potentially here this season as well if we had the numbers. So with that being said, I mean, is this still something that's on the table if we get another handful of drivers to come sign up in the next time off in between the next race? Is that something we can consider as opening up a second division for this series?
I wouldn't count it out, but I don't know if it's too late in the series or I will say it's possible.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're sitting on the fence, you got time at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on every other Saturday. Jump into the GTRC Discord server. If you need an invite, hit me up through my Facebook Messenger. If you're not in my Discord server, if you're in my Discord server, there should be an invite already posted in the league info channel there for everybody. Just jump on in there, and the administration staff over the GTRC will get you guys all hooked up and dialed in, qualified, and set up for the series. And if we have numbers, I guess we'll see what happens for round number 3. But if you're sitting on the fence, definitely don't hesitate, ladies and gentlemen, because I tend to agree with Barr there. I think we're getting to the point in the season where if it doesn't happen by round 3, I don't think it's something that's feasible at this point for the fair play of the competition, but still willing to potentially open a second lobby here before round 3, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're interested, you want to get involved, get over there, get into the Discord, and ask for one of the admin staffs to give you some assistance, and we'll get you guys all locked in. Appreciate you taking the time here to talk with us. Congratulations to Mark as well for the race win here back to back to start out the GR2 season. And we'll be back next weekend with everybody for our Audi TT Cup Series Round 2 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right here on GT45 Gaming and GTRC YouTube. We appreciate y'all. Remember, y'all matter. Stay winning, and we're going to send you off with some great vibes and some tunes. Catch you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen.